Rockeyez would like to welcome Chris Impellitteri. Hey, man, what's up? What's going on?
Hi, Brian. Thanks for welcoming me, and thanks for doing an interview with us for Animetal USA.
Cool, cool, cool. So, when they first approached you to join this band or project, whatever you want to call it, what were your first thoughts?
Strange. Seriously, I was flattered. I got a call from Union Entertainment, who is now our management, and they manage bands like Nickelback and Steven Tyler, so they're a very big company. And, they basically told me the concept of what they wanted to do, which was basically mutate, animation with metal. And so it's basically we're taking the stories of famous anime that have been done through, probably from the late 1960s, 70s, and we take the storylines and a lot of the lyrics and vocal melodies, and we kind of put them into a lot of original music. And so they approached me with that idea, and then they told me the other guys involved, which at first it was Scott Travis from Judas Priest on drums, and Rudy Sarza, who was kind of a friend. I already knew Rudy, and Mike Viscera. And, basically, they said, listen, we want to take, the anime market and kind of mutate that with metal. And, basically, I went over it. I met with Scott and Rudy, and we kind of, we had really good chemistry playing-wise. And so I said, yeah, I'll do it. And that's kind of how this whole thing was initiated or born.
Cool, cool, cool. Now, when you started to put the makeup on, was that a big chore for you?
Yeah. And the funny thing is, and I always have to explain this to people, the makeup, believe it or not, it really has nothing to do with bands like Kiss.
Right.
It's really the anime thing. I mean, kabuki is huge in Japan. So it really, that's where it evolved from in the first place, right?
Right.
It's been going on for probably hundreds of years. And so at first, I said, well, what are we going to do with the makeup? How are we going to do this? Because I don't want to be a Kiss clone band. I mean, the music itself is already intense. We're definitely bordering, anywhere between Iron Maiden to Dream Theater. It's very challenging to play music, at least this stuff. And I said, the image is really cool if we do it right. And so they said, yeah, we're going to really use the kabuki heritage,
Right.
So basically, they let me create my own character, And to be honest, I tried to make it as easy as possible because I knew, every night playing it was going to be a chore to put the stuff on.
Right.
So basically, we worked on it for a while, and I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm answering your original question, but is it a chore?
Uh-huh.
I mean, basically the answer is yes, it is. It's a lot of work to do this, but ultimately I think it's really cool, and I think it actually complements the live stage show.
Oh, definitely does. Now already you're getting into expos, photo ops, band autograph sessions. You're taking it to the next level already. How's that feeling? I mean, first without makeup through basically your whole career, and now all of a sudden the makeup, you're going to get comparison to Kiss no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
How's that feel like this band that's going on right now?
Well, I can tell you. Listen, I've always stayed loyal to my own band for 25 years.
Right.
I mean, I even told Rudy I've literally turned down mega artists. I mean, even Ozzy called me in the 80s, as far as being a guitar player. And I've always stuck with my own thing. And it wasn't until Animetal approached me that I said yes to do it because it was so different than anything else out there. Now, having said that, I've been doing Japan obviously for 20 years at least. And I think it's due to luck, luck and a lot of hard work. I've sold well over 1 million records just in Japan. And so I've experienced a little bit of success there, But with Animetal, it's something completely different. I mean, it's massive. I mean, we can't go out, we go outside the streets and kids mob us. I mean, it's really insane. And so this thing has taken on a life of its own. And it feels, to me, it's foreign because I've never knew what it was to feel like Michael Jackson until now. Especially in some countries, where anime is huge and this thing is really taking off. I mean, we just released our latest record for Japan, which is really number 2, and it's been out for about 2.5 weeks now, and we've been number 1 on their chart for, I think it was like 10 days straight, where we literally moved Adele down, and Adele is massive all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
As you know, right? So, yeah, for us, we're all looking at this like, what the fuck? Pardon my language, but
no problem.
It's like, dude, this is fucking huge. And even Rudy Sarzo told me, he goes, dude, he goes, listen, he goes, I've obviously had great success with Ozzy, Quiet Riot, Whitesnake, Dio. He goes, I've never been in anything this crazy or big either. And I was like, what? Because those bands were multi-platinum, huge, successes during their heyday.
Right.
and that's how crazy Animetal is, especially like in Japan right now.
Wow, wow. Now you wrote some of the songs with Marty Friedman, right?
Yeah.
And how'd that work out?
For me, it was great. I've always had like a three-piece band, or at very best, I've added a keyboard player.
Right.
So for me, it's kind of like the old saying, two heads are better than one.
Right.
Really applied here.
Cool.
I mean, I love Marty, especially what he did with Megadeth.
Right.
You know, and he actually did the original demos for this. And then I got fed the demos, and I ended up, rewriting a lot of stuff and adding my own, my own personality to it.
Right.
But a lot of the stuff I really lifted from Marty, and it really gave me a good sense of direction of how to do this, because, I really wasn't really familiar with anime.
Right.
And it's really challenging at first to try to, like, mutate, the anime art form and even the songs that were originally written for this stuff. Like the 60s and 70s, and when I say that, like 1960, 1970, a lot of the great anime songs were done by classically trained composers.
Right.
Like we have a song called the Mazinger Medley, which I think is the second song in the American release.
Yes, I heard it this morning.
Okay, cool. So you can hear basically what we did. I mean, the whole intro is basically from an Impellitteri song.
Right.
And even that, in all honesty, is me ripping off Randy Rhoads.
Uh-huh.
There's a track called Mother Revelation Earth.
Right.
That Randy goes into this really cool harmonic minor thing. And that's all I'm doing there is I'm literally lifting that. I think we're just detuning it and playing it a little bit faster.
Right.
But we mutate that into the original classical anime song, lyrically and melodically. And that's probably one of the greatest examples when I explain to people what we're doing about, it's probably 40% original music and then 60% the original anime score.
Right.
Oh. And that particular song is a great example for everybody to listen and go, oh, I get what they're doing.
Right. When you hear names, and you're named along with, like, Eddie Van Halen, Randy Rhoads, and Yngwie Malmsteen, and you were voted plenty of times best guitarist, fastest guitarist. What's that feeling like, being, like, in the whole world? You made your
I have to, listen, let's be realistic, it's like, I'm not Eddie Van Halen, I'm not to that range. I mean,
right.
Yeah, I've probably worldwide total sold a couple million records.
Right.
And I have a cult following. That's what I have always said. Impellitteri, and first of all, we're also a band. I'm not a solo trip,
right.
I'm not Yngwie. It's always been about four guys. The singer is equally as important. And I've been blessed, I guess, where kids have gravitated towards my style of shredding.
Uh-huh.
But, being called the best or being called the fastest, that's nonsense. There is no fastest guitar player in the world. It's dependent on the tempo of the song, what you're playing, how complicated it is. Are you playing in 13? Are you playing in 4/4? These are variables that really affect how fast you can play,
right.
At least if you're going to play good.
Right.
You know what I mean? And believe me, I've done both where I played really well, and I've also played where it's just senseless masturbation.
Right.
Melodically has no point to it. It's just nonsense. And, having said that, I think, it's really important to state that, listen, it's flattering to get those titles,
right.
But the reality is there really is no greatest, there's no fastest. It's just, it's depending on what you're trying to apply and what you're trying to, say musically.
Right.
As a musician, so
sure.
That's probably a downer of a, of an answer. How's it feel? Well, it feels great, man. I'm the fastest. I'm the king.
Yeah. When you were a kid, and what made you pick up the guitar?
Well, I didn't really have a normal childhood. Both my parents killed themselves when I was like 9 years old.
Uh-huh.
And it's cool. I mean, it is a long time ago. But for me, I was kind of, probably on a path of, I was going to be lost.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
And fortunately, my grandmother, she was pretty young. And, she adopted me and raised me and knew that, I better find something in life or else I was going to end up being, pretty much lost.
Right.
So basically, she brought me to a guitar store, and there on the wall was hanging two guitars. There was a Les Paul copy, which was a Cameo,
right.
and a Strat. And I chose the Les Paul, because at that time I was a big fan of bands like Thin Lizzy and,
right.
loved John Sykes, people like that. And, as soon as I picked it up, I just fell in love with it, and I took guitar lessons for like 4 years. And like any kid, I was listening to like, Queen, Thin Lizzy, Kiss, and that was when I heard Van Halen. I was like, holy shit, that changed my perspective.
Right.
And, and that's kind of how I evolved. And then, of course, my instructor, the guitar teacher, started turning me on to people like Al Di Meola, and all of a sudden Speed. I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't even know you could do that.
Right. Wow. Very cool, very cool. Now, will there be other projects coming up besides the anime stuff?
When you say other projects, meaning for Animetal?
No, for you personally. Other.
Well, I'm getting that question a lot right now. I mean, yeah, I always have Impellitteri, and I've got JVC, or actually me to do another record. I'm not sure if we're going to do another kind of like supergroup thing.
Right.
I've got some guys in mind if I do that. But, to be honest, everybody in the band's got side projects. But, Rudy, myself, and Mike, and John, we've actually committed to say that Animetal USA is our priority.
Cool.
Which is great. Rudy's got some thing called Fred or something like that that's going to come out. It's, another side project
right.
he's doing. But for the most part, we're putting all of our effort right now into Animetal.
Cool.
We're trying to expose this, and we're now signing with, I think it's ATA, who's, like the booking agent for Judas Priest.
Right. Wow.
So it's going to be really interesting to see if metal fans are going to embrace this.
Oh, I'm sure.
And allow us to, like, tour and do, like, big places.
Cool. I definitely hope you do a extensive tour. A lot of people don't come to the East Coast. They go to New York, but they don't hit my state, New Jersey.
I love Jersey. Yeah, I'm from Connecticut originally, so yeah.
It seems like we get skipped over a lot. But I wish you guys success, and watching the video this morning and stuff like that, and I posted it on the Facebook so other people could see what's going on with you and stuff like that. I think this band has a great future ahead of them, and I love, as a photographer, the theatrics, blow me away. So, and I was listening to the CD this morning that Chip over at Chipster sent over to me, and amazing guitar work, amazing, and congratulations on that, and I wish you guys the best.
Oh, man, that's really nice of you to say, and I truly do from the heart appreciate that.
Right.
And hopefully it will all evolve. I'm glad that you like the makeup part, because, for me, that was one of the most critical things. I think that, to be honest, was the reason I said yes.
Yeah.
Because, listen, I've seen a million supergroups, and, they're interesting for about 3 weeks, and then people get bored and they're done.
Right.
But the reality is with this, musically, like, you obviously are hearing, we're taking the playing to the, to our limitations, I think, humanly.
Uh-huh.
But then the makeup and the whole stage show, if you've seen any of our stage show, you see our stage that's massive.
Right.
We've got more white marshals on stage, I think, than anybody's ever had in history.
Wow.
And so, we're doing, it's a bit Spinal Tap, but I can tell you from the shows we played, and we played some really large arenas with us so far, it's so rewarding to look out and see the audience participating more than just like, okay, here's the musicians on my side, here's the girls on Rudy's side. The fans and the people that really have embraced this, you see them come to the concerts dressed in our makeup. Now that goes back to, obviously, Kiss does that as well.
Right.
But this takes it, it's almost like, you're going to get what you would see at like a Maiden concert or Dream Theater, but then you get the extra theatrical element, which is it just pushes it over the top and makes it rewarding to see.
Very cool.
And that's what I'm experiencing so far. So
that's great. Well, I congratulate you once again, and wish you the best. You have anything to say in conclusion?
No, that's it. Just listen, thanks for the support. I hope everyone checks it out, whether you download it illegally. I really don't care, but, to be honest, I truly hope you guys get to check it out, because it's a blast. It's really fun.
Thanks a lot, Chris.
All right, Brian.
Bye-bye.
All right, thanks.